we got Paul Dashner coming to us from Cisco with a conversation on making IP video better than broadcast. So many people would like to be just as good. No, Cisco says you can be better. Take it away, Paul.
Thanks, guys. So again, my name is Paul Dashner. I'm a technical marketing engineer for Cisco. And what we want to talk about today is making IP better in broadcast. And so right off the bat, let me get out of the way. Cisco loves broadcast, right? We make a ton of money off broadcast. We have a lot of customers that are broadcasters, and definitely works really well for a single homogeneous experience, right? Sports, news, some special event. Broadcast is really in Cisco's blood, and we're not really talking about quality or being better than broadcast, but what we're really talking about is enabling your content to reach as many of the target markets are out there, and IP really enables that, right? So my daughter, millennial, right? 70% of the content that she consumes is online. I spend a ton of money on a big, huge TV screen in my house, and my kids never look at it. They're only looking at their iPads and their iPhones. So what enables that to happen is this convergence of IP video, or video and IP, right? And there's a lot of numbers on this screen, but to me, the couple that stand out the most are 8 and 5. So what is 8? 8 is the number of devices on average that content is consumed in the home, and 5 different services deliver that content. So the last thing you want to do is be on that 7th device that isn't in somebody's home. So it's all about reach. It's all about enabling your customers to consume your content in any way. And really at the end of the day, it's all about monetization. So the more eyeballs on your content, the more you're actually able to make money there. And speaking of money, $51 billion worth of opportunity here at OTT over the next 4 years. A lot of really great numbers there, and really mobile video traffic is growing exponentially, and when 5G comes along, which I'll talk about here in a little bit, it'll make it even better. So some hard and fast examples of how the convergence to IP has really helped out. World Wrestling took their content direct to consumer, and now they were not only able to expand their reach within their traditional markets, right? They were able to expand globally by going direct to consumer. Today, it is 24% of all of their business is over the top direct to consumer. BBC iPlayer, right? 2 million views simultaneous at their peak times. 7 to 10% of that is live or linear content. So another great example is a service that we run, which is Sky Now, which is Sky's over-the-top platform in Europe. So that enables them not only to reach past folks that can't actually mount a satellite dish on the side of their apartment building, but it allows them to do things like sell one-day passers or sell access to one single event, and really enabled them to, again, they had tons of content, tons of right for that content, and by going over the top and doing it through IP, really helped grow their business. Of course, NFL Game Pass, we do the DirecTV NFL ticket on Xbox and PlayStation. Again, they had tons of content, NFL content. I'm not really sure there's any more valuable content in the world, but again, they could go directly to consumer, and it's a major part of their business. Last year, for the first time ever, the World Series was broadcast and over the top. So what do all these examples mean? They mean that when we say making IP better than broadcast, what we're really talking about is the usability and the flexibility of delivering content to your customers. And I think one of the really interesting statistics that we list on this thing is now that the Apple TV is actually the 3rd most popular set-top box in the world. I'm not really sure 5 years ago anybody would have thought that. Of course, Cisco sold set-top boxes for a very long time, and that was a really surprising statistic to me. So what are we talking about? We're talking about smart TVs, of course, traditional cable set-top boxes, but now phones and gaming consoles and all that. That allows, again, you to be very flexible And that flexibility and the ability to kind of personalize those experiences and reach multiple devices really is what has kind of promoted Netflix to on a Net Promoter Score. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with this metric, but the Net Promoter Score is how many more people promote your service as opposed to not recommending your service. And anyone in here who's paid a traditional cable company, right? They are kind of in the middle. They deliver a great service, very, very used to it. But Netflix has really been able to kind of to expand their market by doing these three things that we really talk about. We talk about engaging our customers, right? And making a product feel like it's specifically made for that consumer. So how do we do that? We do it through personal recommendations. We make it through, so their viewing habits really drive the things that show up in their watch lists and those kind of things. But it really optimizes that experience so that it feels like we're delivering something very special, very unique to that person. But really, again, at the end of the day, it's a product. By engaging the customer, right, we can understand and speak directly to that customer. I've been in video for a very long time. Came into cable when we were doing the analog to digital conversion. I've built IPTV networks, a lot of things. In those environments, the only direct communication that we had with our customers was when they would call to complain to customer service. Well, now I can get real-time, ratings. I can get real-time feedback from the customers, and it's really important once we engage and understand what their needs are. We can start doing things like, oh, wait a minute, we noticed that you just bought a new Roku and you already had an Apple. Well, we can deliver to that. Or we noticed that you're consuming a lot of television on an iPad instead of on your set-top box. Let's make that a little bit more personal for you. Let's make these recommendations much more relevant to you. And so we talk about taking all that data and responding in a way that keeps you agile in the market. So one of the things that Cisco likes to tout with our Infinite Video platform is the ability to launch services really quickly across multiple devices. But being fast to market is really, really super important. But being fast in the market is an even more important thing. IP video, over the top, it changes, it seems like on a monthly basis. And so we feel that one of the tenets of our service is the ability to release software every 2 weeks, hear about the features that are coming down from Apple or Roku or whoever it is, and be able to release those on a regular cadence for our customers. And really, one of the biggest things that we have seen from our customers is the ability to respond to your customers to their life stage that they're in. So I mentioned my kids before where they really only consume video on their smartphones. Well, as they go out and they spend all their money on that nice 65-inch TV, they're going to expect that same service that they've been consuming on their personal devices to also extend to that. So being in an IP format, again, gives you the ability to deliver to almost any device on the planet, and then you can really tailor the service directly to the life stage of your customer. So again, I work for Cisco. We have a platform that we call the Infinite Video platform. And what the Infinite Video platform is our cloud-based software as a service video offering. So some things that we have really invested in over the last couple of years kind of fall in line with the concept of making IP better than broadcast. So what are some of those things? Smart ABR is a great example of some of the things that we're doing in our encoding products, where we're examining each individual ABR profile, right, and saying, listen, the video quality in your top profile is the same at this moment in one of the lower profiles. So we'll actually dynamically change the manifest to be much more efficient on the bandwidth that we're using, and that allows, again, a quality service and a quality presentation to your customers, so that anywhere that you're consuming video, the bandwidth requirements are all over the place. So Smart ABR really has helped our customers out. Multicast ABR, cost-efficient network scaling. So multicast ABRs are a new concept for us because we have a lot of IPTV customers. We have a lot of folks who use IP to transport video. And our philosophy is, look, if you can get all of your content into IP format and then even take the additional step to get it in ABR format, we can still deliver that to your IPTV customers, which you would traditionally deliver via multicast, right? So that does one of those things. You can then also deliver over DOCSIS networks and fiber to the home networks much easier because you're really only creating that content one time, right? And so that really helps out with a lot of the latency requirements, channel changes, those types of things. And then finally, Cisco has made a significant investment in things like security, piracy prevention, all of those things, 4K, and advanced analytics. So I'm sure we've all heard the stories about Netflix and Sony and all these guys getting hacked. Well, one of the things that we understood was not only do we need to effectively deliver encrypted video, but we also need to protect the back end. We need to protect almost every entry point into your network now because it's all IP based. So that allows you a lot more flexibility, but it also exposes you to a lot more risk. And so we kind of take this approach where not only are we going to do the things that you would traditionally think in a video market, but we extend some of our kind of enterprise concepts into video. So one of our big customers in Germany, Vodafone, we just launched a service for them called Giga TV. And they were a traditional 8 million subscriber pay TV company, and they realized, you know what, we're losing a lot of money to cord cutters, we're losing a lot of money to cord nevers, and they work in a really predominantly free-to-air market that is very competitive. So they wanted to increase subscriber stickiness and really be able to launch new services and new features really quickly. So we run it as a service with them. We have their ops team dealing with our ops team on a daily basis. We look at the same dashboards, we look at the same analytics, and that allowed them to, look, they still deliver video via your traditional RF HFC plant, but now they can do 4K by going over the top directly to that hybrid box. And what does that allow them to do? They don't have to go out and reconfigure all of their cable plant, all of those kind of things. And so we release software to them on a regular 2 weeks cadence, sometimes in a little as 1 week. It depends on what the feature is or what the bug fix is. And it really has helped them not only transform their service, but it's helped us transform how we deal with our customers. And it really has been a very successful partnership. Finally, Internet of Things and 5G are really probably two of the biggest items on our list right now. Internet of Things, everything with an IP address. Lots of people make a joke about your toaster will have an IP address, but everything now is communicating not only through the internet but from machine to machine. And so again, following along the theme of making IP better than broadcast. If you're not already at that stage in your content where you're delivering via an IP network, well, when 5G comes along, it's going to be really easy to roll that out to not only your traditional mobile customers, but now with 5G we can compete and deliver video to almost anywhere, and that rollout will begin here in the next year or so. But as that goes along and video traffic increases eightfold, you're going to need that flexibility and that ability to, again, not only deliver to multiple devices, but be able to understand your consumer behavior and understand how your consumers really want to consume that. Because it's not really just about delivering video, right? It is really about creating that personalized experience. So I really encourage you guys to go to cisco.com, Infinite Video. We have tons of information there. Of course, we like to do a lot of these shows. Just got back from NAB last week. NAB was a great example of, we had a lot of customers that came up to us and said, look, first of all, we know we need to be in the over-the-top market. We have tons of content. We have tons of things that we want to deliver, but we have absolutely no idea how to do it. And so that's where we came through with the concept of as a service. Because now, instead of like, traditionally Cisco would kind of just drop off this big box at your place and get a check. Now we're talking to you on a monthly basis because we're a month-to-month bill. And it really has enabled a lot of our customers to go do what they do best, right? They produce really compelling content. They build out, really great high-speed networks. Let us handle all the engineering for, development, client development, bug fixes, OS updates, all those types of things. So I wanted to open it up to any questions.
If there's any questions, raise your hand and I'll come around with the microphone. There's a question for Cisco. Somebody.
I did a really good job of explaining everything. So.
Anything else you want to tell us? Oh, we got one right here. Hold on. Gotta get on the video.
Yeah, the Vodafone relationship that you had, that was wired, connected through...
Yeah, so they're a traditional HFC customer, right? So they have, for a very long time, delivered just traditionally RF video. And they understood that they wanted to do things like 4K, right? They wanted to be able to do things like personal recommendations and promoting content over other content. And what they realized and what we realized through this relationship is that the more personalized you make that experience, which again is our point about making IP better and broad, the more personalized it is, the more sticky that consumer is to your service, and it really kind of protects you against a lot of churn and those types of things. So absolutely, there were, again, they knew that they needed to transform their service, right? And they did not want to have to go out and hire tons and tons of engineers. They didn't want to have to make an extreme capital investment. So we sold them this as a service, and it really is a partnership. We learn a lot about their operations. They learn a lot about our operations. It not only helps us improve their service, but because we're running it as a service, something that we do for one customer really benefits all of our customers.
Okay, anybody think of anything else they want to ask Paul? Okay, let's give a hand to Paul. You did a great job.